All right, all right. So, first off, before we start the show, I just have to say I cannot wait to watch Scott McGotenay at the World Cup.
We will be there.
I
will
will
be there.
definitely be there. That bicycle kick.
Yeah, I don't even know if Italy's going to be there.
Well, no matter what, we will support Scotland. And we are going to support a very tough title race. Not us being in it, but we're kind of in it for this weekend. But how are you, Charlie?
All good. Yeah, big up 10. Big up the chat as well. Yeah, should be another good show. Year of the Bird, of course, the Newcastle and Spurs podcast. Make sure you're subscribing to both channels if you haven't already as well. Like the stream. And yeah, we'll get to as many of your chats as well. Sorry for the different background. I will be back from Saturday. So yeah, the usual setup will be back very soon. But yeah, yeah, should be an interesting show. Obviously, if you guys haven't already, check out my match preview for the North London derby that I did with Josh. Big shout out to Josh Truguna. There'll be a video coming on his channel today as well that I was also on. So yeah, go check that out if you guys haven't already. But look, we'll talk a bit more about it today. Kind of as each day passes by, the day gets closer, and obviously it is a massive day for us every season. So yeah, look, the nerves will start kicking in. Obviously, a massive game in the Champions League as well for both of our teams as well. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, exactly. But yeah, I guess as well, come December, you'll experience the derby as well this season.
Oh God! Everyone will know my thoughts when we do that show just before and after. But yeah, I guess we'll start with the games in, you could say, chronological order. So first off, we have Newcastle United hosting Manchester City in a battle for the top. Well, actually, both of our teams are against the top two. That's the thing.
So, right now, that, I mean, I always say there's no.
Unfortunate, it's not us in the top two, or at least me. I don't really care.
Big up to Hanno.
Yeah.
Big up. I saw the thing. I mean, I always say this with title races, that I don't think there's a title race until April. But I guess the top two right now are the two teams we're playing. So
yeah, and to be honest, heading into this game for Newcastle, I feel I don't know. The only reason that any Newcastle fan can be confident is it's at home. It's at
Yeah.
home. Uh, our record against Man City hasn't really been like fantastic, but at home, especially since the takeover, I mean, we did lose to them both times. Or actually,
You
not.
drew. You drew last season, 1-1.
Yeah, but then the seasons before, Oscar Bob scored the winner, and then who's the one before? Was it?
3-3, wasn't it? You know that crazy game
Yeah,
in the treble season for them, 3-3.
yeah. I wonder who was in that title race, that trouble season.
Oh yeah, I wonder who had the biggest bottle job in Premier League history. Big up to Evolve today. Yes, we hate Arsenal.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully. But my thoughts heading into the game is I'm not. I don't know. I'm not too confident. Mainly because I feel like Man City are actually, well, good. But the good thing is, maybe famous last words. Erling Haaland doesn't have a good record against us, and look what he's doing so far. You know, he scored 2 in 2 minutes against Italy.
Oh no, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, but I believe Haaland's only scored once or twice ever since joining Man City, playing against Newcastle. One of them
I
was
didn't
in
even
that
know.
season.
Wow.
So at least like maybe Haaland, even though but yeah, so far, um, in terms of the team for Newcastle, I feel I'm not sure what about the Nick Pope situation because if you remember against Brentford, he kind of fell a bit injured, like awkwardly against Brentford. So I don't know if he's fit. It could be one of Arsenal's great goalkeepers, not David Seaman and Ramsdale, maybe starting. Who knows? Um, but I feel like I know Livermento's back on the grass, so I hope he starts. And obviously, Lewis Hall did play during the international break for the U20 England side. Um, and I hope.
Man, listen. Once we get to the playoffs, I'll do some content on it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and
not even, right
obviously,
now. I'm not even going there. I'm so annoyed.
even the playoffs draw for it happens in about an hour, so
Yeah.
we'll probably find out during the show who Italy. I bet I would love it if it's Italy Romania. Just you
I thought
against,
you were going to say North Macedonia.
or to be honest, we'll find out very soon. But yeah, I hope that Livermento and Hall start, or at least one of them start. Trippier, not sure. Uh, the back two, is it time to drop Botman? I feel like it is.
Yeah, he had a stinker, absolute stinker against Brentford and West Ham.
Yeah, I mean an own goal against West Ham was at fault for I think the third goal against Brentford. So I feel like I think just drop him for this game. Maybe put him on against Marseille. Who knows, something like that. More of a physical team, Marseille when we get there. But against Man City, I feel like why not? You can start with Dan Burn and Mike Chow, who did return for the Germany team, first time in a long time. So I hope that's sort of the back four. Well, the past one or two games, Lewis Hall is kind of coming back from injury, but hopefully, you know. Oh wait, I totally forgot. Dan Burn can't even play.
Oh yeah, red card.
So
No Dan Burn. What a shame. What a shame.
so actually, I feel like
The
then
goat.
it could be who do you call this? Well, actually, he is a goal. He did score in a cup final.
Yeah.
Um,
But you got absolutely rinsed in the last game.
yeah. Fabian Scher. So I would say the back two would be Fabian Scher and Chow. Chow has to start.
Yeah, I think Chow's been your best. He's definitely been your best centre back this season.
Yeah.
I think in a way this game it's kind of strange because you never. I mean, it's rare that you sit there and say Man City's a must-win game for anyone because look, Man City's one of the games where I think most teams look at, apart from us because we always beat them somehow. But most teams look at Man City and say, "Yeah, we don't expect to pick up points there," sort of thing. But in a way, for Newcastle, I feel like this is sort of a must-win game in the sense that I think you guys have been so shambolic, especially in the last two games, that if you put in the same performance at home against Man City at home, because it's been away from home that's been the problem, but if you put that same performance in at home, then I think it's starting to become a conversation of, I think Eddie Howe's under serious pressure. Because I mean, you guys, you're like 14th in the league or something.
Yeah,
like you, and it's terrible. So I think if you put a performance like that at home, I think then I know people are talking about it now, but I think then it gets to a point where there's like more serious pressure on the manager.
Yeah, and I feel like there has to be. I mean, always act. Oh, we should get a response. Like when we lost to West Ham, we got a response against Athletic Club, and then a few days later against Brentford, it was the same thing as West Ham. So is it going to be like one good, one bad, one good, one bad? Maybe. If that's the pattern, we will do good in the midweek games because we play Spurs.
It seems like you're a Champions League team this season.
Yeah,
in Champions League you're doing well. In the league, you're completely. If I'm honest, like to say it bluntly, I think you're kind of capitulating in the league right now.
Yeah, at least it's only like I think 11 games in.
Look, it's still early. Like you guys can still kind of get out of the table, but the problem is you're not seeing. I mean, this is just me from like an outsider looking at Newcastle. Like you're not seeing kind of any improvement really at the moment in any area.
Yeah, and hopefully it's a game at home against Man City. Haven't beaten them in the league. I think the last time, trying to remember, might be 2018-19. Matt Ritchie.
Oh look, let's bring the band back together. Matt Ritchie, Paul Dummett, John Joe Shelby.
Oh God, like Paul Darlow and all that.
Yeah, just bring the band back together, then you'll get out of this.
Yeah, I mean we have beaten a big team, Benfica. Benfica are big, apparently. Forza Porto, but yeah, I think for this game it's going to be obviously tough. Obviously, with the upcoming fixtures in basically all the games apart from Spurs at home, it is going to be difficult.
I knew you'd say something. I knew you'd throw
and
something.
the good thing is we play Spurs midweek, and we just always perform in midweek. I think we have not lost a game.
You can do well on Wednesdays and Tuesdays.
Yeah. So hopefully, I don't mind if it continues.
It's 2 days before my birthday as well.
Yeah, and then after you have to see Empoli destroy Palermo.
I'm not going there. We'll have to worry about Virtus Entella first on Saturday.
Yeah. And do check out our La Piña Rosa about a few days ago. Well, more than a week ago. But yeah, in terms of this game, I'm not sure about the Johan Wissa, whether he's at least going to be on the bench. I hope he is. But Nick Waldemade scored in both of Germany's games.
I think definitely probably the one shining light for Newcastle in the league anyway.
I don't know if you saw. Apparently, ESPN said that Nick Waldemade is the third biggest flop.
What?
ESPN. But guess who was number one?
The number one flop of this season
in the Prem.
In the Prem.
It should be obvious.
Oh, Verts.
No.
Not
Another one. The one they pay a bit more.
Oh, Isak.
But number 2 was Wissa, which fair enough. He's been injured.
Well, he hasn't played, so you can't really call him a flop or a success because he hasn't played one game.
But Nick Waldemade was put as third according to ESPN. I'm like,
that is madness. I mean, where did they put Gyökeres, who I don't think anyone's talking about him.
I don't remember. I just saw the top 3 being like Newcastle players. But and I remember they put Simmons. I know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not. That I was literally going to say like I think Simmons is probably on there. So.
Yeah, like 5 or 6. But yeah, for the game, obviously hope Nick Voldemort scores and all that. In terms of the wingers, is it time to start Harvey Barnes over Gordon? Because I think Gordon's back from his hip injury. Um, I would probably say to start Barnes and then bring on Gordon when you need to. But to be honest, you know what we should just do? How about just play Anthony Gordon midweek? That's all.
Yeah,
Because
just
he
play
only
Barnes in the league, play Gordon in
midweek.
Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was injured somewhat in that game against Athletic, but Anthony Gordon only turns up at night in the Champions League or maybe against Spurs later. But I feel like we should start Barnes and Murphy. There's also another player. Apparently, ESPN didn't put him as a flop. Alanga.
I think he has been. I think Alanga has been a flop.
ESPN didn't say so.
That's crazy.
Nick Voldemort.
But I think look at obviously Man City. Like they're 4 points behind Arsenal. City. I think they're looking like the old Man City the last few games. Like against Liverpool, they absolutely wiped the floor with them. Dortmund as well. They battered 4-1, and obviously Haaland's breaking. Nobody's talking about it enough that Haaland is back basically from. Basically pre-Haaland from last season Haaland. So
apparently he's better than Isak. That's what some people said.
But I think
oh well.
I think that if I'm honest, Newcastle or anyone that plays City are probably playing it at the worst possible time right now.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to play City, the best time would have been to play them at the start of the season like we did. Where they weren't, they were still inconsistent. Now, I think they're on a bit of a winning run and stuff now. They've obviously I always say this with City, like come April time, if they're in touching distance, they're going to win it because they know how to get it done at the back end of the season.
Especially and I think with they have a lot new players this time around than
they do, yeah.
They've won before.
So I think for you guys, I know you're at home, but this is going to be a real tough ask for you guys because they seem to have found a bit of form. Plus, you guys, there's a lot of pressure. It's not a great situation. I mean, I think there's ways you can still get at City. I think that obviously defensively they're not they're not perfect defensively. They do have the odd sort of bozo gene and that sort of thing, but. I think Voldemort can definitely be the guy because City they don't have the most physical centre backs. More focused on ball playing. They're not the most physical. So I think if you can get Voldemort sort of pinned against Diaz or Stones, whoever's there, I think that's probably where you can get the most joy in this game. Kind of using Voldemort if you get crosses in. But I'll ask you this about Newcastle because I always find this strange that whenever it's a Big Six team at home, you guys turn into a totally different team.
The only thing is, so far, last minute winners against those teams.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Arsenal. So, this is because we haven't played Spurs. Well, okay, Spurs doesn't really count, but Spurs at home, Man United at home, not yet. Chelsea at home, not yet. And
Spurs, you say Spurs don't really count.
I think that's all the 6. But yeah, I feel like and I guess you can say Sunderland, but I feel like it's kind of. I feel like would I take a point in this game? Like, let's say, had we not lost to Liverpool or Arsenal in that situation, like in that game 2-2 or 1-1, would I take it in this game? Yeah, I guess so. Obviously, of course, I want to win, but we haven't beaten them in the Premier League since 2019. And the last time we beat them was, the competition we are known for actually doing well in, the Carabao Cup. Which Liverpool was man of the match that day, like 2 years ago when we beat Man City, we beat Man United.
Who scored in that game?
Oh God, Alexander, they're not a great Isak, but I feel like this is a game that you should be hopefully now see a much changed back line for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Burn is out at kind of thankfully, which means it forces Eddie Howe to play Lewis Hall or Livermore. Well, I would think it would be Lewis Hall at left back. And you can put Livermore right back if he's back. He hasn't played since the Asna game. So hopefully, it's been about 2 months. So hopefully now he's kind of recovered from that. And then obviously the back two, you can't play Dan Burns, so you have to start Chow, and we'll see what he does with Botman. And obviously what happened to Pope the other day, falling awkwardly against Brentford, which meant that he was subbed off. But in terms of the midfield, I would say keep the same midfield, the usual. And then I said Bonds and Murphy. What I do notice, because obviously Sweden are terrible, not because they have Isak, but actually Alanga, not on the right, but on the left, he was all right. Left wing, because usually he's the one that plays right wing for us, but with the Sweden team, he was okay playing at the left instead of the right. So I don't know if that might be something that maybe Eddie Howe has noticed, because I think maybe Alanga should be playing on the left, and maybe you can start Murphy on the right. Who knows? And then bring on Bonds when you need to, or Gordon, because I think, well, actually, almost all the wingers can play left or right, but maybe this might be the time you play Alanga at left wing, because I think Jacob Murphy at least deserves to continue to start at right wing. So that's kind of how I see the team being set up. I would think it would still be Bonds and then Murphy right.
I think you guys need to look at maybe changing formation, because I think that I just think at the moment, like, I mean, Newcastle just need to because of the clear problems that have been in the league. I think especially when you're playing City, if I was you, I would go to 3 at the back for this game, because I think you saw it against Asna in the cup when you played it. It worked, and I think in this type of game against City, a team that's going to dominate possession, I think you've got very good fullbacks that can play that. Big up to Angus as well.
You'll be really happy on Sunday.
We'll get to that in a bit, but I think you've got fullbacks that can definitely play as wing backs, like Hall, Livramento, even Trippier to an extent. So I think that, Murphy can play as a right wing back. So I think that's something you guys should look at doing, but I don't know. I don't know if we're.
Only thing is that
I don't know if we're going to see it or not from you guys.
I'll probably say not, but I feel like if it is, it could be a 5-4-1, but the 4 in midfield be like you could say a diamond, Tonali, and then the 2 would be, I'll probably say Ramsey and Joe Linton, and then more of the attacking.
I think Joe Linton's a player that you need to. I think he needs to come out of the team for you guys. I think he
was injured during that Brentford game, so we'll see. I still think it will be a 4-3-3. But a question from Hano is it time? The what's his name? Claude.
Rest in peace to Claude.
Yeah. For Eddie Howe, is it time to go? I mean, I was Eddie Howe out until that cup win.
Yeah, and then he flip-flopped. The flip-flopping was just like next level.
But I will only go back to Howe out when that game on the 14th of December ends up being.
That's the breaking point for you.
Oh yeah, especially how I don't want to get into the team in red and white, but I mean, we will get to a team in red and white for you guys, but
Red and white stripes you're talking about.
Brentford.
But
But
I'll ask you a question. I'll ask you a question though. I know you're saying if Howe loses the derby that you'll be Howe out and stuff. But let's say tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Saturday,
or whatever.
if he loses badly, like if he gets like battered,
Let's say 3-0.
yeah, 3-4-0.
It was actually last season we lost 4-0.
Exactly. Well, it was away, but if that like yeah, so if that happens at home, would you then turn if it's like really bad? Because look, I mean it's City and they if you're not playing well they're gonna punish you and stuff with Haaland and everything.
I mean you would be happy because Man City will at least catch up to Arsenal.
Yeah,
but I would say. I feel like I'll give him a bit of grace. Unusually, I would say
unlike last season until the cup.
I would say until the derby. If we lose badly, let's say against Man City, and then later on lose badly against in this game, then I think there'll be because I feel like. Against Man City, people are expecting us to lose, even Newcastle fans, I would say. But if we lose heavily, I mean, if we lose like 4-0, damn.
I think the problem for you guys is because of your very poor results against teams that you'd say you should be beating, especially like West Ham and stuff. You know, this game has become all of a sudden more important for you guys to get a result because you haven't sort of won the games that you more expected to win and everything.
Yeah, I mean we only beaten 3 teams in the Premier League this season. And I literally cannot remember the other 2. Wolves and somebody else at home. Oh, Forest. Like to be honest, the 3 teams we've beaten in the Prem, because if you notice, Fulham are in really big trouble this year.
Yeah, you got Forest in the relegation zone, Fulham near it, and then Wolves who are bottom.
So I think we can't beat. Yeah.
So I think that kind of, I mean, it speaks volumes. Sadly,
yeah, we haven't beaten a team in the top 13, 14. I don't know whatever position it is, but. It would be sort of a big statement if we do beat Man City, because obviously the next Premier League game after Man City is away, and you know how that goes. But at least after that away game, we do play Spurs at home, so that would be fine. Yeah, I mean we will do another preview for that when the time comes. But yeah, for this game against Man City. It's going to be tough, and as Angus said, if we can stop Erling Haaland, then yeah, I guess we could be good. But obviously, as I said earlier, Haaland doesn't actually have the best goal-scoring record against us. I think against both of our teams. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Yeah, not with us either. Yeah, because in general, we have a good record against Man City. So.
Yeah, but. Overall, usually our games against Man City at home are a bit close. Away, different story. But at home, this is a game. Look, we do turn up in the sort of big home games, but ended up losing. We lost to Liverpool, lost to Barcelona, to that guy, and lost to Arsenal. But then, we saw the games like Benfica at home, Athletic at home. Damn, not many home games actually that were like amazing. Because to be honest, that Benfica home game is probably the best game this season for us. Back in the Champions League.
Yeah, I know they're not even doing well either. Benfica are, they're a bit of a Bit of a mess. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Haaland hasn't been offside the whole season.
Damn.
It's crazy.
I just wish, back in the day, Pape Cisse wasn't offside.
Oh
Well.
yeah.
And he's
But
still
what's your like? Yeah, of course, Angus.
Don't worry, we'll lose to them, and then you'll still beat Spurs. So it'll still be a 4-point gap.
What would be your score prediction for this?
I feel like I'm certain we're going to turn up, but whether that actually amounts to anything, because obviously we've turned up in the big home games in like Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona, and still lose. So it could be fourth time again, or fourth time lucky. The only thing is, the games against Man City at home are usually quite close, like 3-2,
Yeah.
2-1, 1. Like it'll be close. So I hope we don't get battered.
I'm so confident that you'll win nothing, Angus, at the end of the season.
But I will say we will turn up, but will it be enough? You know what? I want to support the Asna. I'm saying Newcastle United 3, Man City 2. That'll be
you think you pull it out the bag when no one expects it.
You know what? Look, some teams do it. Like, if you remember, well, actually just a few weeks ago, Liverpool, they lost to like Brentford and everyone else. But then against Real Madrid, everyone said 5-0. Come on, Real Madrid, really? But Liverpool won. So, you know what? I'll go 3-2 Newcastle, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm pretty sure you're hoping for something else.
Yeah, well, I think that what we'll see. Yeah, look, listen, look, we'll be there in May. We will be there in May. Anyway, in terms of what I think will happen, I agree with you in the sense that I think you're going to turn up. I think there's going to be a bit of a, because you know how this Newcastle under Eddie Howe always do this. Like they'll play like a quote unquote Big Six team at home, and they'll turn up. Like they'll kind of turn into a different team.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, like you said, you haven't really been getting the results that you might deserve in those games so far this season, which I think have probably been your best performances. Like your best performances this season have been against probably Liverpool, against Barcelona, Arsenal. Like those have been like the best performances, and you've obviously lost those games. So I think we're going to see something similar. I think it will be a close game. I think 3-2 City though. I think it'll be a lot of goals. I think.
Is it going to be last minute? Like
it won't be last minute. I can tell you, it won't be last minute.
I'll say I wouldn't crash out if it's last minute, but I'll be like,
are you going to have a Darwin level crash out?
Nah. I mean, it's because I don't mind Man City actually, like as a team. But I'll be annoyed if we do lose last minute. But if there's a player that would score last minute against us, who would be that? Because Oscar Bob last time around,
it'll probably be like Cherky or something. Because I mean, Cherky's look really good in the last few games.
I'll say, I don't know who would be the most annoying Man City player to lose last minute.
If you're talking about annoying, probably like Nunes or something. I don't think
maybe I don't know.
Matthias Nunes.
Not really any Man City player. I'm like, he's not like Darwin or I don't know that sort of player, But if we do, I'm pretty sure this game's on TV because I think it's Saturday 5:30. I think.
Yeah, no, it will be.
UK.
Yeah, it will be televised.
Oh, and they always televise Newcastle at home against one of the big six teams. I guess Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo's not really much of a goal scorer these days.
Well, he did score in that 3-3.
He did, yeah. But yeah, look, you never know. Obviously, great player for sure. But
yeah,
I think we both agree that it will be a good game. There'll be a lot of goals. It's just I think it's quite a close one to call because I agree with you. I think Newcastle are going to have a so-called like reaction a little bit, but I think in the end, like, because I mean, City, like I said, you're probably playing them at the worst time, so I think that
I don't know. Maybe you
Sky. Yeah, I think it will be Sky. But you're playing them at the worst time, which is why I think that they'll edge it. To be honest.
Yeah. All right. So all the chat about Newcastle.
I think you need to at least get a draw from this game. I think you need to get something from this game. I don't
think anyone will be happy with a last minute winner from Man City. But if you do score last minute, yay! Who would it be? Jacob Murphy. Oh, if it's Alanga.
Oh,
no, I don't know if he's really like
my word.
But yeah, in terms of our chat on Newcastle being quite bad at the moment, there is another game happening. You could say it's the biggest game of the season, and that's Arsenal against Spurs, which obviously you did.
I'm gonna have Angus. I'm gonna have Angus on my back in the chat while I talk about this.
Obviously, you did the preview on your channel.
Yeah. If you guys haven't already, go and check it out. There is already the preview is done with Josh. Big up to Josh, true Gooner. Go check that out.
The truest Gooner than Angus.
Go check that out if you guys haven't already. But yeah, no, look, we can talk about it here as well. Sort of obviously a slightly different perspective, obviously with 10 being like a neutral in this whole thing. So yeah, look, the North London derby. I think, you know how I said you're playing City at the worst possible time? I think this is the worst possible time for us to play a North London derby because we have a lot of injuries. We can't sign anyone. And I've said this many times about Spurs, that I don't see things changing until both of those things can happen. And look, we might come December, Kulusevski will be back. I think Solanke might be back. If we played the derby a month later, I'm not saying we'd be in a great position, but we'd be in a better position than we are right now. That's for sure. Obviously, it's a blow for Arsenal to not have Gabriel. I think that's obviously a plus for us that he's not going to be playing. Obviously, he's a massive threat from set pieces. And look, I know we're a lot better defending set pieces this season. But at the same time, that Man United game before the international break proved that we still have a bozo moment in us and that the Ange mentality from set pieces still can creep in occasionally. And it's obviously going to take time for Frank to fully erase that from us, which is why I keep saying this, that this is why I think fans blaming the manager for what's going on, I think is crazy right now because he's new to the club. Plus, there's things going on in terms of players that are available and certain quality of players that I don't think are in his control. So this game, look, it's obviously the North London derby. Look, it means everything to both teams. Obviously, we'll see who comes in for you guys. I mean, Hincapié hasn't really played too much from what I've seen, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, I think this is going to be very difficult. Like if I'm being brutally honest, obviously it's important to point out that in a derby anything can happen. That we've seen some strange things happen. Not all the time, but there have been many occasions where form goes out the window. Coming into this game, look, it's ultimately the game that every Spurs, every Arsenal fan looks for when the sort of calendar comes out. Obviously at the Emirates, look, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that we don't have an awful record there. Like it is absolutely terrible. Our record there. Obviously the good thing for us is that we don't have Ange for this game because Ange was, I would say, one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, as to why we've been so bad in North London derbies the last 2 seasons, essentially. Now with Frank, I think, oh my God. If it's Calafiori, I will cry. Because if it's him, because I was mad when he joined them because of obviously the national team. But this, I'm going to be honest. I'm not confident. I make us underdogs for this game. We haven't won since 2018 in the cup. We beat you guys in the cup, but in the league, yeah, we haven't won since 2011. No, that was at home. Danny Rose, that was at home. We haven't won in the league since 2011 when we were 2-0 down and won 3-2 with Kabul, last minute winner. But listen, Arsenal are the worst type of team for us to play against because they're a team that focuses a lot on the defence. They're a team that are gonna make it hard for the opposition to break them down. Look, they've been, apart from the Sunderland game where I thought Sunderland did get at them quite well. They did well. Obviously, scored 2 goals, got a draw in that game.
Angus and all the
so that's the problem, that they're set up very 2010. It was that season, 2010, 2011. That's the season I meant. But defensively, they're hard to break down. They're a defensive team that base a lot of their game on the defensive side, and that is not what we want to play against, because we, as I keep saying on this show, when a team doesn't leave space, when a team's not even organised, like I'd say even semi-organised against us, we don't know how to score. We don't know how to create anything. And that's why I'm so worried about this game, because I'll be honest, what I could see happening is I could see Arteta giving us the ball. I could see us, having the ball, and us not being able to break them down, and then them hitting us with a set piece or a counter attack, whatever it is. I do think Frank is going to try and play on the break. I think that is going to be the different approach that we see compared to what Ange kept doing, obviously in the North London derby and everything. See, Angus, your worst nightmare is European trophies. You've never seen one, so it is what it is. But yeah, it's funny because that player you're talking about, he couldn't win you guys a Champions League. He had to leave to go and win one. So it is what it is. But yeah, what was I saying? This is why I'm not confident, because we're gonna have to break a team down, and we don't know how to do it. And this is probably the best defensive team in the league right now. So
couldn't do it against Sunderland, really?
What's that?
But then couldn't do it against Sunderland of all teams, really?
No, it was good that Sunderland got that last minute equaliser.
To Brian Brobbery.
That is funny, Brobby. That.
Like, imagine on Sunday it's going to be Richie.
Richarlison, yeah. You imagine if regardless of the result, imagine conceding to Brobby and Richarlison in back-to-back games.
Okay, if that happens, I think Arsenal don't deserve to win the Prem.
No, just for that alone. Just for that alone, yeah. But like I said, our record's not good there. Luckily, we don't have Ange this time, so I think that we definitely have, I would say, a better chance of getting a result than what we have had in the last 2 years, for sure. Because Frank is, look, for all the criticism that our fans want to give Frank isn't stupid. He's not gonna go into a game and be naive. He's gonna have a plan, and he's gonna set us up with the best chance of winning. Whether that comes to anything is another story, because obviously, like I said, I think he's got his hands tied behind his back right now in what he can actually get out of our team, especially going forward right now. But I think this will be a game. It will come down to the defense. It will come down to both defenses. I think that's the strong point from both teams. Obviously, I think our best players are our defenders. I think that's probably the same for Arsenal as well. So I think it could be a bit of a game of sort of defenses, you could say. I think set pieces are going to have a say, to be honest, because obviously I know Arsenal are a set piece FC, but we're definitely looking better from set pieces this season since we got the new set piece coach and everything. So it will be, yeah. I am nervous, Angus. Of course, I'm nervous. When am I not nervous for a North London derby? I'm always, even at the best of times, I'm nervous for this game. So of course, but yeah, this could be quite interesting, but I'm not. I'm just gonna say I'm not happy that we're playing them now. I'm not happy that we're playing them now. I'd rather play them in a month's time. That's for sure. But what's your thoughts as a neutral?
I mean, I'm pretty sure both you and Angus and a lot of people remember this particular NLD. This is probably one of my favorites because
Which
it was
one?
one of the biggest collapses I've seen from Spurs. It was 2011-12 at the Emirates.
Oh, the 5-2.
Spurs were 2-0 up, and then you capitulated within 10 minutes, 2-2, and then eventually 5-2. I was like, damn, Spurs capitulate.
That was the year after we won. That was the year after we won there. 3-2.
Yeah, so I was like, oh.
But you know, Arsenal were 2-0 up in that game, and we scored 3 goals in the second half. So in 2 years in a row, the team that went 2-0 up lost 2 years in a row.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was 5-2 because I think
it was. Yeah, it was.
Ziski scored the fifth.
Yeah, it was 5-2. Yeah,
it was
I know the one you're talking
about. Theo Walcott.
The fourth, I think the one Angus is talking about is the one that I think when Unai Emery was there. I think that's
yeah.
When we weren't 2-0 up in that game, we were 2-1 up after going 1-0 down. And Adebayor, how could you forget? Yeah, Adebayor.
Oh yeah, but so far in the recent times, like obviously this decade, you can say, it's been a bit boring. Like in terms of NLD games, like what?
Well, I think the NLD last season, the one at our ground was the worst ever North London derby.
I think it was just 1-0.
But it wasn't even just the scoreline. It was a terrible game.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think neither team did nothing. Like absolutely nothing in that game. I remember, and it was just a nothing game. It was awful. Like that is the worst one I've ever seen personally. That is the worst.
Yeah.
So it's because of Arteta coming in and Ange. Because I mean, if you wonder why our record's been so bad in the last 2 years, it's because of that. Ange is a big reason on our part because of that. Like Ange ball, us being a disaster from set pieces, them being, really good at set pieces and everything has just been, it's been a recipe for disaster for us. But luckily we don't have Ange anymore. That gives me a little bit more confidence. Like, that's all I'll say.
Yeah. But for this game, I feel like with both defenses still being pretty good, because obviously Romero and Van de Ven are playing, and then for us, Asna, it is, I believe it will be Saliba and Incapié, or
Mosquera, I think.
Maybe. But I feel like for this,
I think Gabriel's a big miss though. I mean, not just defensively, but set pieces. Like he's clearly a goal threat. So I think that him missing is obviously a plus for us. I think.
Yeah. In terms of prediction, of course, I want it to be entertaining. And
you just want chaos. I know you just want it to just be absolute, just like
chaos. I don't want like that 1-0 NLD Gabriel header.
The problem is with Arteta around, that's always a possibility. That sort of game with Arteta and his terrorist football.
Yeah, I will go 2-1 for Arsenal.
I knew you would. I knew.
You know what? How about Spurs take the league through with Charleston?
To be fair, whatever the result is, if he scores, I'll laugh. I'll genuinely. If he scores, I'll laugh. Like I'll actually laugh. If he scores.
It'll be if it's last minute as well, like the winner.
But regardless, if he scores full stop, I would laugh because they have conceded to Brobby and Richarlison in back-to-back games.
So I will go 2-1 Arsenal, but Spurs to take the lead.
We did 10. That's what happened last season at the Emirates.
Exactly.
If you remember, Son scored for us, and then Kinski, who was in goal because Vicario was injured, made two. I remember 2 bad mistakes that he should have saved. So,
So might be
That was really bad, that game. Again, Ange and derbies, it's a big recipe for a disaster. But yeah, prediction. I said this on the preview. Unfortunately, I haven't changed my mind.
yet.
I reckon we lose 1 or 2-0. And I hate saying this because I rarely predict us to lose in a North London derby. Usually I say, if we draw, because look, if I'm honest, like if you offer me a draw right now, I'll take it just simply to get it over and done with. In the sense that, like, we go there, we don't have the pain of losing, and we just kind of can move on swiftly. Because it's away from home, so that's why I'd probably take a draw. But I think the sad thing is, I think we lose 1 or 2-0 because it's just gonna. I don't see how it changes for us. I don't see how. Yes, we might hopefully, and it's obviously the minimum that I expect, that we have a bit more. We have a bit of extra fight. Where we kind of get up for the game and everything. But I can't even be 100% confident of that because of that absolute disaster against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. A complete disgusting performance in a derby. So I can't even sit there and say, look, we're definitely going to kind of raise our game for the North London derby and everything. So, and I don't see us scoring because we don't know how to open up a team that doesn't leave space, and they're not going to leave space. That's the problem. They're not going to leave space, and that's when we really struggle. Plus, we don't know who's going to be back. I mean, if Kudus is still out, then that's a massive problem. I think he should be back. He should be. But, I mean, we don't know for sure yet. If he's out, there goes our attack. That's our attack in the bin, basically. So, we'll have to see who's back. Obviously, apart from that, I think the players that were injured before this game is still the same situation. What's even worse now is that Kolo Muani's injured. And I'm not saying he was doing great, but it means that Richarlison's going to play because Solanke's still out. So it means that unless he puts Tell up there, which I don't want to see either, if Tell goes up front, that means that we're going to see Richarlison. And that is obviously a complete disaster for us.
Just wait for him to score. Last minute goal.
So I don't want to see him play. I genuinely, I'm just fed up, man. I'm really fed up. Yeah, I think we lose 1 or 2-0. And I really, really hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong because I do not want to lose this game again. But we'll see. We'll see. Listen, you guys employ Havertz. It is what it is. So there you go. But listen, if we win this game, it will be sort of, we'll have to be on it defensively. We won't be able to make any mistakes. And, we'll have to be clinical in front of goal. We'll have to, for the few, because I don't think we're going to get many chances in this game. The few chances that we do get, we're going to have to take. And with the current players up front, I don't see that happening. Because even I go back to the Carabao Cup game against Newcastle. Against Newcastle, I actually thought we created more. We created more than I expected us to create. And we didn't put them away. We didn't put our chances away. And it's not, I always say this, it's not a surprise that Palhinha, Van de Ven, these sorts of players look better in front of goal than some of these forwards. It's not a surprise to me. So that's why, again, it all comes back to the forward line. That's what isn't filling me with any confidence for this.
Yeah.
But I hope, like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
We'll find out when the time comes. But I guess we'll switch over from the Premier League heartache that both of us will eventually experience to Champions League nights, and we are both going to France.
Both of the either side of the Le Classique.
Yeah, and we're playing the one that we're actually playing the two teams that actually won the Champions League. Unlike
Marseille, it's very questionable how they did that, but
yeah. Also, if anyone is noticing, the World Cup draw is happening, or at least the stream of it. So Charlie's
World Cup playoffs. Oh yeah, by the way, Angus, congratulations with Scotland. Congrats.
Oh yeah, McGotenay. Come on. But
go to the.
yeah, obviously you can watch my reaction with that stream I did with Spain, Turkey. But yeah, first off, on Tuesday is Marseille against Newcastle United in the what do you call it? In the Champions League Tuesday night at the Velodrome. Oh yeah, and also all Arsenal have Bayern top of the
We
table.
know how Bayern Munich Arsenal goes. We know how that always goes.
But yeah, Marseille Newcastle. To be honest, this is what like when you think about it, this is technically our first away game in the Champions League because in the 4 games, 3 of them at home, one of them was not even at the USG Stadium, honestly, and it wasn't really that
It's your first away game at the other team's stadium,
like
basically.
an actual away game.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of what do you call this? Like I know some Newcastle fans have been warned about how Marseille fans are like. So we'll see because obviously Spurs played there and won. So hopefully we do the same. Pierre Emile Hoiberg, I remember.
Who's now at Marseille? Who scored the winner for us is now playing for Marseille.
Yeah, maybe. Oh no, he might score the winner against us. But yeah, am I confident with this game? Not really. Mainly,
that's the thing for Newcastle. It's away, and that's been the undoing. That's been the undoing for you guys this season.
But if we do beat Marseille away, then I'm pretty sure we're just going to turn up in all the Champions League games, but not in the Prem, in the away games. But our record against Marseille, we've only really played them twice, and that was the 2004 or 2005 Europa or UEFA Cup, and the player that scored the goals for Marseille to make Marseille advance to the final was none other than Didier Drogba. I think 2004 because he moved to Chelsea afterwards. So we don't have a good history at Marseille, but obviously history can change. So in terms of prediction for how
I mean, you guys are in a good position in the Champions League. You're in obviously the top 8 right now.
Yeah, unlike Marseille, who lost in the last minute at home to not Atlanta United, Atalanta, who have a new manager as well.
Palladino. To be honest, I'll be honest, they've massively upgraded. I mean, I keep saying this. Why they hired Juric in the first place, I'll never know.
Yeah,
but he did win. He was the one that won that game.
Yeah, but with this game against Marseille, obviously the players to look out for Marseille would be someone like Igor Paixão at left wing for Marseille. Obviously, had he stayed at the club, because I know he moved, Chancellor Mbemba, but now he's at Lille, so he's not playing against us. I think it will be a massive game. Well, obviously it is. I think Marseille are the ones with more pressure than us because one, it's at home for them, but also Marseille have to, pick up points because they only have 3 points in the Champions League. They lost the other 3, which you could say they probably shouldn't. They lost to Real Madrid, probably shouldn't.
Well, they're a bit unlucky. They're a bit unlucky
against Sporting, against Atalanta. So I would probably say it'll be a what do you call this?
Big up to Keke every single time. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, big up. Yeah, nice to see you in the chat.
Yeah. But I think for this game, I think we might be a lot more defensive. I would say I'm not confident. I would say I could see us losing this game. I'll be honest, because I think Marseille are the ones having to go for it. Because I think if they lose to us, obviously that'll be good for us because we'll be on 12 points and still ahead of Spurs. At least there's a league that we're at least ahead of Spurs and Liverpool. But it would be the seas in Marseille would not be that good if we beat them, because that would be a 3rd straight loss in the Champions League for them, and you know how Marseille fans are like. So in terms of prediction, or maybe let's say with the team news for us, I would probably say, look, I think it all just depends on the what do you call it, the game at the weekend. I would expect Dan Burn to start probably at left back, even though Lewis Hall will start at left back against Man City.
What would you think you'll see Tonali at right back again?
Oh god. The only thing is, I could see this being like the West Ham Brentford games whereby we lose, but we always turn up in the Champions League now. So
you see what you're like away from home in the Champions League, though.
Yeah, like an actual away game. Yeah,
like a proper hostile like ground.
Because USG, it wasn't even at this stadium, and it's USG. You know, but at least USG won a title last season, unlike a certain team. At least I can say that because we did beat Arsenal on the way to winning a trophy. I know it's the Kabuki Cup, but at least it's a trophy. But in terms of prediction for this game, as I said, I'm not confident. I could see us beating Man City, but then coming unstuck, I guess, against Marseille. So it won't be a good trip to France. And I'm going to say Marseille. Newcastle ends in a 0-0 draw.
You reckon 0-0?
I'll go 0-0.
0-0. Wow. See, I'll be honest. Just look at your away record. Marseille, obviously their ground is, it's a very tough ground. I mean, they beat PSG this season, Marseille, and they don't. Obviously, that's
we beat PSG.
You did. I mean, a couple years ago, but yeah. Marseille, look, they've beaten PSG this season at their ground, and they're doing well. Look, they're only, I think, a point off PSG in Liga, so they're like very close. At the moment, it's a little bit. You've maybe a little bit of a title race brewing in France, which is sort of unusual. Obviously, PSG usually just run away with it, but yeah, I think you guys are in trouble. I can't lie. Obviously, it'll probably be fairer to look at this game more after the weekend and everything. But if I'm looking at it now, just look at your away record combined with Marseille, their ground being very tough. I know you've done well in the Champions League so far, but I think you lose this game. I think it's just I just can't see Newcastle getting anything from this game. Sadly for you guys, I think you lose 3-1. I think it will be like West Ham, Brentford.
Yeah,
I don't know.
2-0.
I mean, it would be funny because, with Newcastle, when nobody expects it, maybe you'll get something out of the game. But I can just honestly, based on all of that, I can just this will be a game you come unstuck in. But I still think you get in the top 8 though with the other fixtures that you have.
Yeah, and look, this is the game. I actually when the draw was made, I said that Marseille is probably going to be the toughest one. I'm pretty sure we're both watching the draw as Dr.
Yeah, they're doing the continent. They're doing the continental playoff at the moment.
Yeah. So come on, Bolivia, come on.
I'm waiting for Italy.
Yeah, it'll probably be after this one. But against Marseille, I would probably say that when the draw happened, when we found out the teams we get, I did expect Marseille to be probably the toughest. I'm less confident against Marseille than I am with Paris Saint-Germain. New Caledonia's out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, New Caledonia in the draw.
Actually, the guy that's drawing it, he's from New Caledonia. The
one
who's doing the draw. But yeah, for this game against Marseille, I did expect this to be tougher than Leverkusen and PSG. I'm more confident with Leverkusen and PSG games away than I am with this game.
Well, you're more confident with PSG away than Marseille, really.
Yeah, because at least New Caledonia, Jamaica against
yeah, and the winner will play DR Congo in the final.
Ooh, so the only thing is, I don't know if anyone saw who's that manager, Steve McLaren.
Newcastle legend.
Newcastle legend. He resigned but he had a script. He had a piece of paper. I don't know if you saw the post match press
I
call.
saw it. I saw a bit of it. Yeah.
Oh God!
See, look, tennis. It's meant to be. You know, bring the band back together. Steve McLaren, Carl Darlow, John Joe Shelby, Paul Dummer.
Technically, Jamal Lascelles.
Yeah, look, there's already pieces there. Bring the band back together.
No. I think he's probably the only player left, Lascelles. But yeah, against Marseille, not confident, but I'll be a bit optimistic and say 0-0. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that I think that'll be a really tough game for you guys. Marseille, look, they're doing well this season. I think you guys are going to struggle, to be honest.
Yeah, it's Bolivia against Suriname, and then the winner of that plays Iraq. That'll be tough for whoever progresses. But yeah, now it is time to talk about another French club, at least one that is a champion. But we have seen glimpses of this, in which Spurs, the usual Spurs, bottled it against PSG.
Come on, after we won the Europa, that's not a thing anymore. That's old, expired.
Yeah, but it's PSG hosting Spurs.
Yep, PSG away. Obviously, look, it was important for us to win against Copenhagen. It was a must-win in the Champions League, and we did that. Listen, the PSG, if I'm honest, you know, speaking of a little bit of, I guess, positivity, if we're going to play PSG at any time, this is probably the right time to play them because they have a bunch of injuries. There's no Hakimi, no Dembele. I think Doué's out as well. You know, they got a bunch of injuries. I think even Nuno Mendes might be out as well. So both their fullback, both probably the two best fullbacks in the world, are both going to be missing for this game. Now, that doesn't mean any. Look, Angus, listen, you know, what did PSG do to you guys last season? Exactly. But even if they have these injuries, which I believe they have, it's proven that, look, PSG on their day with, you know, a bunch of like kids in their team, like academy kids, they can still pull it out the bag. Look at their result against Barcelona away. You know, who's it? Mayulu and all of these guys, you know, in the team. Enrique, it's because Enrique is a top manager. He is a top manager. He won the treble last season. Obviously, PSG are the current Champions League holders. This is definitely our toughest game in the Champions League. It's going to take, I'd say, a miracle for us to win this game. Look, I say PSG have injuries. We have a bunch of injuries as well. And our squad obviously isn't as deep as PSG's. So, not a great time for us to be playing them. Obviously, Arsenal and PSG back-to-back are not two games that you want to have back-to-back for us. So, there's that to consider as well. Listen, the Super Cup, obviously, like, everyone will say that, yeah, like, we went 2-0 up and, like, we lost on penalties and everything. But, look, if you actually look at it sensibly with maturity, our performance was good in that game. We played. I was one that thought
that was after Bayern won like 4-0 against.
Yeah, we lost, but that was a friendly. But still, yeah, we got spanked by Bayern, and then everyone, and including me, I thought we were going to get absolutely destroyed by PSG. I thought we were going to be lucky to get out of there with, like, I would say, yeah, exactly. I thought when we played before the Super Cup, I thought we were going to be lucky to only lose 3 or 4-0 in that game. I thought we were going to get absolutely destroyed. But it didn't go that way. Obviously, we did still lose, but we were very unlucky. We should have won that game. Everyone who watched that game knew that we should have won that game. So, listen, you know, having said all of that, like, I'm not going into this PSG game thinking, look, you know, we're going to be lucky to only lose 4-0 or something, because I saw something in the Super Cups that said, look, maybe, you know, on our day, it comes down to on our day, you know, we can, you know, potentially get something. We can sort of put in a performance against this type of team. And the good thing, that I guess the one positive about us playing against a team like PSG is that they're going to leave space. PSG are a very attacking team. They're going to come and attack us. And there's going to be opportunities for us to hit them on the counter-attack. And there's going to be space in behind, especially You know, if there's no Hakimi, no Mendes, you know, they're going to have makeshift fullbacks. And there could be kind of some opportunities for us there to actually create chances. The problem is, you know, even if Dembele's out, even if Doué's out, there's still Kvaratskhelia. There's still Ramos, who obviously scored against us in the Super Cup. There's still Kang In Lee, who scored against us. There's still Ruiz from midfield. You know, João Neves, who scored like a incredible goal for Portugal just now in the international break. So, look, in terms of us getting in the top 8, according to my calculations, we need to win 3 of the last 4 games to get in the top 8. And I'm looking at it and thinking, look, obviously Dortmund will be very difficult, but I think it's more of a game we can win than PSG. Obviously, Slavia Prague is our next one, which I'm expecting 3 points. And then Frankfurt away, look, we beat them last year. So PSG is obviously the hardest one. PSG is the game where, look, if we get a draw out of this, like, I'm taking it. Because, you know, then that's another point that we obviously to get in the top 8 and everything. The problem is, I just don't think right now. I know we're looking better defensively this season. I don't think we have what it takes to contain them, and I don't think we're going to be clinical enough in front of goal. Because look, I actually think in this game we're going to create chances. I think we might. I think we probably score in this game, if I'm honest. I think we do get a goal or 2 in this game, but I don't think we're going to be clinical enough with the players we have up front. And I don't think we're going to be able to contain them. They're just too good. Even with a makeshift team, they're too good. And this is obviously credit to Enrique and everything. Look, they are dropping a few points in Liga that you don't really expect. You know, Lorient, Strasbourg recently at home. So, look, like I said, this is, if we're going to play PSG at any time, this is the right time to play PSG for sure. But it's away from home. You know, at the Parc des Princes, it's very, very hard to play there. I just don't know if we've got it in us. I struggle to see us getting much from this game. I hate to say it, but I think we lose. I think we lose this game, which I think everyone's probably expecting. You know, if we lose this game, you know, it's probably the one where when the draw came out, everyone kind of wrote off and said, "Yeah, look, PSG, that's, you know, sort of a lost cause for us." But I do think we'll create some opportunities. But yeah, I just think they'll have to. I just think they'll have too much for us. I reckon we lose 3-1, 3-1, 3-2, something like that. I think. But I don't think we're going to get absolutely battered. I'll say that. I don't think that's going to be the case. But sadly, I think they'll have too much for us. But again, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. I feel like maybe a lot of that energy might come from the North London derby. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's the problem. We don't have the squad to rotate, and that's the problem.
And I think that might be somewhat the downfall. I mean, obviously Spurs did draw 2-2 technically against PSG.
Should have won.
if you beat them on penalties, but oh well. But I feel like for this game, I know we're both looking at what Italy's about to get, but
yeah, that's part of our focus at the moment.
Yeah, I mean they haven't done the draw.
They haven't done it yet, so maybe it'll be after we end the stream, probably.
Yeah, but for this game against PSG, I do think it will be quite tough, especially away from home. I think if it was at home, maybe there'll be.
We've been better away from home this season. We have the best away record in the Prem. At home, we have one of the worst.
But so. You haven't won away in the Champions League.
But in the Champions League, yeah, we've been better at home.
Yeah. So I will probably say, in terms of prediction, I do think it'll be... I'll go 3-0, unfortunately, for Spurs. That means... Wait, no. 3-0 PSG, unfortunately, for Spurs. Yeah. I just think that there'll be a lot of that energy in the North London derby, and whether it's a win or loss or whatever in that derby, I think this will be a bit too much. Especially, it's not that quick of a turnaround.
I think that's the question as well. Like, I think obviously it's harder to talk about this game before the North London derby. I think I think depending on what happens in the North London derby, I think psychologically and just mentally, and like I think that will play a part because obviously football there's momentum. Like if we get a result against Arsenal, then I think against PSG, hopefully we can take that forward. But if we have a very bad game against Arsenal, then that. So it's kind of like I think a North London derby might have a bit of an impact on kind of what happens in this game. But at the same time, what I always say about Spurs is, and this applies to both these games, Arsenal and PSG, whenever we, as a fan base, whenever we expect absolutely nothing, that's when we often pull out a result. It's true. Like you can ask any Spurs fan. It's when we're super confident. That's when we always lose. When we're super confident. But when we expect absolutely nothing, that's when we pull out a result. Usually, I'm just saying. When we expect nothing, that's when we usually pull out a result.
maybe that might be the case. But
that's what I'm saying. It's something to just consider for these next two games. Just keep keep an eye.
Same thing for Newcastle then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll basically wrap it up here, just as they're about to maybe do the draw very soon, to see if Italy get Romania. But yeah, it's been a good show. Obviously, as Charlie said, he did do a preview for the NLD with Josh, who is the truest gooner of them all.
Big up to Josh every single time.
Because I know he's also doing a stream for this draw for himself. Obviously, seeing as he has Italy as well. But yeah, in terms of the show, pretty good this time around. Hopefully, the next show, who knows? Maybe there'll be a lot of tears or a lot of cheers.
I'm worried it's going to be tears. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just
Who's the one that's on? Is it Zambrotta?
Zambrotta, yeah, legend. See, yeah. I wish we had I wish as Italy, I just wish we had players like that now. It's just such a disgrace what's happened to us. Genuinely, the national team. But that's another story for another video.
No, it's Materazzi.
Oh, Materazzi. Another top player. Another legend.
Yeah.
Again, another player I wish we had.
Please, right I hope they bring on two legends, Materazzi, and guess who they should bring on as well? Zidane.
Listen, we know what happened in that World Cup final. So
yeah, Italy won. But yeah, please. Before we end the show, please be no, Martin Dahlin from Sweden. But yeah, I guess we'll wrap up the show here. It's been a good show. Obviously, you won't really find out who we're going to get, Romania and Italy, till the next time we do something. But yeah, big up to Charlie for being on, and shout yourself out.
Yeah, Ten, look, big up for having me on. Of course, this is being streamed on both channels, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to both if you haven't already. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to, obviously, everyone that tuned in today. We had a really good chat today, so it's a big thank you to everyone that was there today. And look, big games ahead for both of us. Some really tough games coming up. Obviously, the North London derby, look, just pray. Just pray that we do something there. But yeah, listen, we'll see what happens. The next show should be quite interesting, I'm sure, as well. But yeah, 10, as always, big up for kind of having this show. Make sure you're subscribing to both channels if you haven't already, of course, as well.
Yeah. And obviously, I guess I will be doing a live watch long for Marseille Newcastle. So you'll see what my tears or happiness will be on that day. But yeah, the next time will be the La Peña Rosa. It will come back.
I'll probably cry again when Palermo struggle against Versus Entella.
Yeah, and I'll be happy with Deportivo continuing to stay up. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one as we see Italy draw Romania. That's